Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So today I am going to make a project using a few die sets. I am cross-pollinating between dies, and the ones that I'll be using is the Clocks and Cogs. I said that right. So I'll be using this because I haven't actually used this die set. I've had it a long time and I haven't actually made use of it. So today's the first time I started, well, for a few days now, where I've been looking at older die sets. I've been using things that I haven't used for a while. So Clocks and Cogs is one of them. I am combining it with the hat box, but I'm only using the two, or not even the two actually. I'm just using the largest circle from this. And I'm also using, if you can remember, Enchanted Fairy Village die collection. So I am using, again, I'm not using very much from this set, but I will show you quickly what I am using. I'm using the panel for the mushroom base and the layering panel. So I'm using those two, and I'm also using the hexagon out of this one here. So I'll show you what I'll be making. And again, like I said, this is just something I've just mashed together because I had an idea, and although the Clocks and Cogs is more of a steampunky theme, I guess, I wanted to make it shabby. So what I'm going to make today is a top hat, a kind of a top hat. I'm not gonna have like curled edges around the hat or anything like that, but I'm just gonna make a top hat. Let's see how it goes, and then we'll jazz it up a little bit with flowers, some embellishments. I have cut out quite a few of these cogs, so I've chopped them up. I've got some flowers, embellishments, I've got a couple of butterflies, some leaves. I've cut the sentiment out from that die set, which says good times. Let me just quickly show you the dies. Now this is a very old die set. Let me see, it's craft kit number 59, so we're going back a good couple of years. I think, are we on like 92 or 93 at the moment? So obviously this is a good, you know, 2.5 years ago. And some of the things that you can make are things like this card here. I'm assuming this would have been done by Tonic as part of the packaging. And there's another one there with the mantle clock, which is lovely. It does come with a stencil. You can't really see the stencil very well, but I'll hold it up on my hand. You've got all the cogs, and you've got these circles with arrows pointing up and down. And this was, I believe it came free with the dies and stamps. And then you've got, gosh, getting into a muddle. Then you've got all these circle dies, and you have got these decorative elements as well. The edge around here, it's not, it's a slight scallop edge, and I think there's another one which is just here. I don't know what you call this edge, but it's got a nice factor to it, like the ends of a cog. Then you've got your timepieces, you've got your dials here, you've got a strap for a watch, you've got a buckle, and then some decorative corners. You've got this amazing chain here for a stopwatch. You've got the button for the stopwatch. Again, you've got the outer panel here of your strap on your watch. You've got your mantle clock, and you've got all these circles here. You also get a stamp set. Well, you would have got a stamp set, should I say. And this stamp set, again, absolutely gorgeous. You've got that alarm clock, you've got that hourglass, you've got this scrolly key, a cog, and lots of sentiments in this. So again, I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm sure there are Tonic videos that have like the reveal videos. I'm sure Tonic did a make video for this, or the design team at the time would have done a make video for this. So I've used some of these elements in what I'm making, and I'll quickly, I am conscious that obviously this is something that I've put together, so it might take a little bit longer to put together. So anyhow, I have used a hexagon die, and what I've done is, if I show you, so I've taken 6 of these panels from the Enchanted Fairy Village. I've taken 6 of these panels, and I've basically found a hexagon approximately, and I've scored down where that second tab is. This would be the top of the mushroom, but for me it's going to be my base. So I've basically scored 2/3 down where that semicircle tab is. So I don't know if you can see that very well. Hopefully you can see that. I've basically scored it, and I've left this larger piece here. I am going to trim it down to form a tab basically, and what it will look like is a piece like this. So this is how it's going to look. So you've got the original tab here, you've got your semicircle tabs there, and I've then created this tab here. Now, if you do want to recreate something like this, hopefully, even if you don't have the Clocks and Cogs die set, the craft kit, you might have dies that have like cogs within them. I know X-Cut a few years ago did some, you know, I'm pretty sure Tim Holtz will have some. So it's worth, you know, having a look to see what you already have, to see if you're able to recreate something like this. So I've got my 6 panels. I am using 216 GSM Ballet Pink. As usual, I'm using some patterned paper. This is Crafter's Companion, my usual go-to paper pad. This is the Garden of Love. I've cut out 2 of the hexagon bases from the Enchanted Fairy Village. So I've got those. I've then cut out a decorative piece, which is going to go at the top here, like so. But again, this is, I've just taken a hexagon out of my own collection. You might have nesting dies, so find something that's suitable that you can add to the top. The decorative panel, so I've cut this out 6 times, and then again I've measured it against where I've created that score line. I've measured it, and then I've trimmed all my panels to fit on this main panel here. So I have already glued 5 of my panels on. I want to show you how and what I mean by creating this tab and how we're going to do that. I've taken the largest circle from the hat box. You might have nesting dies that have circles in them, and I've basically cut a hexagon out. So where this score line is, let me just, oh dear, right, let me just curve my panel here, and then I'm going to fold where that score line is so I can show you what I mean. So let me just fold that there. I've picked a hexagon that will tally up with that bottom line there. So when I pass this through my aperture that I've created, it will butt up really nicely up against that score line that I've created. All will hopefully make sense. So, and then the rest is I've cut out some cogs in Harvest Gold. I haven't gone for the darker tones. I wanted to keep it a light, mutual, like a muted pink tone, which is generally my thing. I'm not going down the dark, dingy, steampunky, nitty gritty, like I'm not going down that road. So what you need to do with this panel then is, as I've done here, you give it a nice curve. You're going to fold that tab there. Give that a really good burnish. And what I'm going to do here, where I've already scored and folded that line, I've given it a really good burnish. I'm going to go ahead and trim off, let's trim it off just there. I'm just going to trim a piece of this off so I can create myself a little tab. Right, let me put that to one side. And now I'm just going to go ahead and, actually I'm going to just chop that bottom piece of those tabs off. So I'm giving it a snip. Just gonna trim that piece off. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and fold back all my semicircle tabs and those spacer tabs that you get as well. You don't have to apply glue to those spacer tabs, by the way, if you don't want to. They're not really yeah, they're just there to fill a gap. So giving those a really good burnish, like so. Now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to create, I'm just going to chamfer these corners like so. Okay, let's move our rubbish out of the way. So you should have something that's going to look like this. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to be using Tonic Studios Nouveau Deluxe Adhesive. I have got my precision nozzle on and I'm just going to apply some glue. And this paper pad is sorry, one second, my daughter's calling out. No one's knocked on the door. No one's knocked on the door. I said no one's knocked on the door. I'm doing a video. So I'm just placing my pads of paper onto that panel there, like so. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is bring in one of these hexagons, and I am going to let me just bring these all in. So what I'm going to do is attach all these pieces and I'm just going to go all the way around. So I'm going to have the good side facing up, and I'm just going to press those down like so, and I'm just going to go all the way around. Okay, so you should have something that's going to look like this. Now all I'm going to do is place my second hexagon on the inside and secure all those tabs. Okay, now I can press all that down. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, you've seen me do this a billion times. I'm just going to go ahead and secure all these side tabs and basically bring up all my panels. So if I do one, and then I'll speed up the rest. So I always start from the top and secure that first one. And then I work my way down. Got this tiny little bit here that's poking out. There we go, that's better. My tabs are playing me up today. There we go, that's better. It's too hot, tabs. It's too hot. Okay. There we go, that's better. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically do exactly the same all the way around. Okay, so you should have something that's going to look like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and I've cut 2 of these out, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and place all these tabs that I've cut out, place those inside this hexagon, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue all these down. It's best to do opposites, so I'm just going to press this one down first. And then I'm going to go and glue this one down. Okay, so once you've done that, go ahead and place your second hexagon, circle, sorry, onto that piece. Now I'm just making sure that all my pieces level up nicely, which I think mine does. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply glue. I'm trying to keep all the pieces, in the right direction, especially when you cut like apertures out of your cardstock. Put plenty of glue around the edges here. So that then forms the hat, which is cute. Now what I'm going to do is let's attach our patterned piece on as well. I could have used a larger circle, but I think I'm happy with the one that I have. So I'm going to place this patterned piece onto here. Let's just make sure we've got a nice even border all the way around. Nothing wants to stick straight today. Okay, there we go. So there's my patterned piece of card stuck down. This is going to be the front of my hat. So what I'm going to do is, if I turn it there, I've got all these cogs that I've cut out, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue some of them down in no particular order. I've just kind of cut pieces out, so I'm just going to stick some of these on. So gonna stick that like that. There we go, that's one. And I'm just going to kind of stick bits and pieces on, going all the way around, because I want it to right, let's stick, oh, hold on, what's this one here? Let's stick that one on there. Let's stick this bit on because it's not a full cog here. So we can stick that on to there like that. And let's stick that one down here. I can't believe I haven't played with this set. Gonna stick that one there. I also cut out the chain, and I've obviously got my sentiment, and I think we need to find a place for the sentiment first, really, because otherwise we won't have anywhere to put that. So I'm just applying glue. To my sentiment. And I'm just going to back it on a circle, Ballet pink. So just pressing that down. And this says good times. And I think this should really go on a bit of foam pad, really, shouldn't it? I think that can go somewhere there, maybe. So what I want to do is, let me just grab some foam pad, bear with. Okay, I don't actually know what I've done with my white foam pads. I don't want to use foam tape, so I'm just going to use these black ones, and I'll hide them so that you can't really see them. Just going to take this one off again quickly and just put a dot of glue on there like that. Take the backing off. And I think that there, or there, maybe there. Yeah, I don't want to see the foam pads though, so I might just do it there like that. Okay, and then I'll stick this behind. Now this bit might take a little bit longer to glue because this is on mirror card, so it will just take a minute to grab. I'm just going to hold that with my tweezer. Let's just leave that like that and let that grab while I work around this. So the next thing then, perhaps we should have one of these large ones. Should we have the large one maybe here? And then a couple of smaller ones? Yeah, why not? And then I'm going to take this piece here. I'm not going to really decorate the back part of this, only because I want the front to be the focal point. So take this piece and that onto there. Like that. It's taking shape. And then what is this piece? Oh, yep, I remember cutting this out. How many more pieces do we have? I've only got a few left. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I want to have the chain kind of dangling here. So I think what I'll do is add this bit onto the next panel. Can stick that one maybe onto there. And then just thinking, if I cut this one, and if I just snip that right down the middle, I can then create two pieces. So I'm going to stick one piece on here, like that, and then the other piece, I think I'm going to stick that on there. There we go. And then I've got a couple more pieces. I think I'm going to have this maybe, I don't want to put too much on the top here either, but what I might do is just have this chain kind of stick on here like so. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave that for the time being like that. I do have one more cog, which I can add up here. I definitely think it needs a few more cogs. So it's almost as though it needs a big one up here. And I had a feeling this was going to come off. Let's just wait for that to glue down. I think what I'm going to do is chop this off. There, I don't want this. Okay, so I might actually cut out another chain. We'll see. We'll see, because I just feel like it needs a chain or something round here. I don't know. Anyhow, right, so we've got all that. Oopsie daisy. It's one of the, like I said, it's one of those days today. Everything wants to go wrong. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start decorating. So I'm going to add some of these leaves that I use in anything pink that I make. So I'm just going to add, because we're going to combine some of this with the cogs. Hopefully that's stuck down. It has. And I think it needs some flowers. So I've got these flowers here. I don't know where they're from, but they were in my stash. They're like fabric flowers with little like diamantes in the middle. I think I'm gonna just stick some onto my hat. That's one, that's another one. I've got some gems that I also want to stick down, so I think I'm going to stick one up here. Like that. And then let's stick another one. Maybe here. These are flat back beads that I'm using. That's pretty. And then I've got these tinier ones, which I think would also be nice. I might just add, oh, I'm definitely going to have to add a few more cogs on here, but let's just jazz up this front bit, and I think I am going to have a bit of a chain as well. Right, let's add a few more gems because I think it needs it. And then we have got some butterflies as well. So there's a few more gems. I think what I'm going to do is add a couple of finishing touches to it. I've got some butterflies as well. So I think this butterfly, I'm going to add that here. Somewhere there. Like that. And then I think this one I'm going to use at the top. Somewhere on here, I think. And then I'm going to use a few more flowers, I think, and add a few gems. So I'm going to do this and then I will be back. Okay, so I'm back. I've just cut a few more pieces out, and hopefully this time I've got enough pieces to kind of do what I need to do. So I've got a few more flowers, a few more cogs, some chains. So hopefully I can kind of try and add to this. So I'm just going to trim some bits off here because I kind of want it maybe like that. Yeah, go on then. I've cut 2 more chains out, so otherwise the top's going to be too plain and I don't really want it to be too plain. So again, just adding dots of glue. And let's place it on there like that. That's better. I think what I'm going to do is I've cut this large one out and I think I kind of want it to overlap a little bit. So and I'm conscious of the fact that there's a lot of gold on here now, but that's okay, I don't mind. Okay, just make sure I've got enough glue on there. So that's going to be my front, and I'm going to stick that on there. I'm going to have to hold this down because I'm applying more pieces over the other mirror card. It's just going to take a tad longer to glue. There we go. That'll do. And then I have got some beads and things still, so let's stick a bead on there like that. Got some of these tiny ones left too, so we'll put a tiny bead on there, maybe another one there. Ooh. And let me find another bead to put on there. There's like mixed beads in this pot. Right, let's just do one small one. And I think I'm going to have it there, like that. And then let's stick a few more of these flowers on. But to do that, we need some leaves. Okay. It all gets really twisted, so I have to let's just do it on those ones for the time being. So I'm just going to hide this behind the butterfly, or try to anyway. And then stick those bits on there. Let's get some darker flowers. Stick a dark on there. Let's stick another one on there. I'm just going to place these on here for the time being, and I'll probably secure them with more glue at some point. I'm just going to stick another one, I think, on here, but then I don't want it to hide all my leaves. Oh dear. I think I'm just hot and bothered. Today is very warm again. So I think I'm going to leave it like that, because nothing wants to stick today. It will stick, it's just I need to be patient, and I don't have that right now. So we've got that. We've got those two have stuck down as well. It didn't take me too long to cut everything out either. And then I think what I'm going to do is stick this butterfly I think I want to stick the butterfly maybe here onto the cog, just to break up that big piece of gold there, like that. And the other thing I did want to do was I wanted to add some chain onto here, so I might actually chop bits up. So if I chop it there, and then I chop it there, and then chop off that bit there, because I just feel it needs a bit of gold on this base here. So if we start it from that end there, and then, yeah. I have a thing for pink hats, I think, because I did a pink witch's hat when we had the Halloween collection, if you remember. I did a pink baseball cap. And now I'm doing a pink, I don't know what you want to call this. I'm going to call it shabby. It's a shabby top hat. It's a funky shabby top hat. Can you imagine though doing this with, like, I don't know, teals, and if you like had a pair of glasses at the front, that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Stick some cogs on here. I don't know, I just feel like it needs some. And I've still got a bit of greenery, which I think I'm going to stick onto here, and then stick a couple of more flowers on and a bow. And then I think we're going to call it a day with this one. Okay, so I've just stuck a leaf down onto there. And I think what I'm going to do is stick a few more flowers on, and then that will be it. one there. And maybe one there, like that. So you can still see a bit of greenery. I'm not sure. And I think the bow needs to go like somewhere up here. I just feel like it needs to be stuck onto there somewhere. So let me just quickly trim off. I think I'm gonna stick my bow here somewhere. It's very busy, very busy. It's a busy bow. Somewhere there, I think. There. Where it says good times. Or should we have put it, I'm just thinking out loud, should we have put it up here and then move the butterfly somewhere, maybe there? I don't know. Well, whatever it is, I'm leaving it on there for now. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna leave it on there for now. Or maybe a butterfly should have gone there. Anyhow, I think that draws to a close my project. I just feel like maybe it needs one more clog around the back here. Oh, there, possibly. But then we've still got 2 more pieces left, and I just feel like you've got to find somewhere to stick it. Did that just fall off from here? No, it fell off from here. Honestly, I'm not having a good time today with these flowers. These flowers don't like me today. Okay. It's absorbing all the glue, so I think it's definitely a hot glue job. Look, they're all flying off. Oh gosh. Right. I'm gonna give it one last attempt and that will be it. Ditching this attempt now. Okay, so hopefully that will stay there for now. I think, yeah, I've just rambled on and on and on. I might just add a couple of finishing bits around here just to use these bits up, but I'm not going to do any more to this because I feel like I've added so much stuff to it. So I apologize for such a rambled video today. Literally, it just feels like I've made like chaos after chaos, mistake after mistake. But hopefully it all kind of made sense. And it was a good way for me to use up my bits and pieces. So if anything, I am pleased about that. So just to give it a quick once over, so as you can see, all these cogs and this clock, I've got beads, I've got flowers, I've got leaves, I've got a butterfly, I've got a bow, and then same again on the top here. And then we just go round, and then we've got some plain panels around the back here. I've just kept these bits plain anyway because I just feel like the main focus was the front of it, and then obviously we've got the top as well. So thank you again so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell to receive notifications of any future videos. And as always, I thank you for your time and the love and the support. So thank you again so much, and hopefully I will catch you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.